morning, everybody. We just got out of court here at the courthouse in Portland, Oregon. We had a good morning this morning. Right behind me back here is the jail. Blaine Cooper is back here in Portland as of today. And we won't have much longer. We'll have Ammon Bundy, Ryan Payne, Pete Santilli over here for sure, and possibly another one or two defendants that they're planning on bringing over here. But this is the jail right behind us where Ammon was here for a little over 10 months, where he was found not guilty. We was told this morning in court that Blaine Cooper is now in town. He arrived sometime over the weekend or possibly this morning. He's going to be called up in the next few days, it sounds like, to testify. And we had some motions concerning Blaine Cooper today, concerns from the defense team wanting to bring up some of his things that he might testify about, but things are looking really good. We had the jurors all sworn in today, and we had opening arguments from the government and also Jason Patrick's attorney, Mr. Comaz. Getting into the government's opening arguments, they were the government did very well at bringing their argument today. They pretty much recapped the first part of the case of the not guilty verdict, and we're trying to illustrate to the jurors what happened in the first case, and they even brought up Lavoy Finicum, that they was going to be hearing about Mr. Finicum's death and everything that surrounded around that. They brought up the Constitution today. That was brought up by Judge Brown and the defense and even the government. What applied in the Constitution and what did not apply, and how the Constitution is supposedly being misrepresented by the defense. But overall, I'm real pleased. I know the other defendants. I talked to them just a moment before we start this live stream. The jurors are real attentive. We've got 3 or 4 jurors that are literally watching this case, listening at the edge of their seats, even more so than last time. These jurors, a couple of them even got sort of emotional during Mr. Comaz, Jason Patrick's attorney. And hi, Kristen. How you doing? I see Sandy Turner on here. Sherry sees me. She's probably somewhere around me watching me here, so she's spying on me here and messing me up. But hi, Sherry. We had the courtroom was pretty much packed out. There was like 1 or 2 seats left over, and we've even got overflow going today with another 20 plus people up there. So we've got a lot of people here for opening arguments. We've only so far heard 2 of the opening arguments, and that was from the government and from Mr. Patrick's, Mr. Comaz. His opening arguments, Mr. Comaz was very, very good. For the last year and a few months, he's pretty much sat on the sidelines just fighting this case with Jason Patrick. Hasn't spoke but very little, very quiet. So we haven't got to hear from him and see what he's all about. Today he opened up opening arguments very well, emotional, bringing up the facts of this case, what they were going to be hearing in the next few days and few weeks. And the jurors were just at the edge of their seats listening to what he had to bring forth. It was good. He brought up the fact that why the situation occurred after Lavoy Finicum was murdered, and the state of mind that these guys were in of having all this armed military surrounding them, putting them in a threat when there wasn't no threat at all up until the government attacked these people, and that these people came from all over in support of the Hammonds. The Hammonds were brought up dozens and dozens of times a day. The situation of why they went to prison for 2 times, how they had been sentenced to just 3 months and 1 year at the very first, and then they got resentenced and the emotion that was around that and why they were there with an address of grievance was brought up. Federal land rights and how the federal government has taken over land all over the West and how they own up to 80% in some states or more. So the jurors are really getting an earful and an education, and we're just getting started. This is the third day. This is great. And we got 3 jurors I noticed in there, and I won't go into them by numbers or nothing, but these 3 jurors are really watching this case. They are paying attention today. They're taking their job seriously. I think all of them are doing that, but these 3 in particular have been at the edge of their seats, taking notes, listening, and not missing a beat. And I appreciate that. If you're taking somebody's life, it's this serious. These men may go to prison for a long time if they've got found guilty. And we wanted jurors that were not biased, that were interested in both sides of the case, and I see that happening here, and I'm very pleased on what's going on, and so are the defendants. One thing that happened really funny today that I've got to bring up before I forget, we've got Neil Wampler and we also got Ken Medenbach, 2 of the first defendants that were found not guilty. They've been in the courtroom and in support of these guys. But Neil Wampler, as soon as court was over with today, he stood up really quick and he said, "Miss Brown, I'm back. Miss Brown, I'm back. It's Neil Wampler back here." He goes like that. And Judge Brown was just about to stand up off the bench, and Judge Brown kind of sat back down, half seating, half standing, and she looks at him, and he goes, "Miss Brown, I was found not guilty. I need my stuff back. The marshals have never given my stuff back." And so Neil, he was all excited there to get to talk to the judge, and she says, "Oh, I don't have no control of that." She says, "You'll have to talk to the marshals and them about that." And she quickly got up and left out. But it was awesome to see him, and he was all smiles about it. As soon as he came out of the courtroom, he goes, "John, did you see me?" And I said, "Yes, I did, brother. I seen you. I seen you stand up there, and that was awesome." And gave him a hug. He did great. It was very, very neat to see him do that and have that courage there in the courtroom. So we're going back in here after lunch. We're going to hear at least 2 more opening arguments, maybe all 3. We still have Dwayne Emmer. We still have Daryl Thorne and Jake Ryan's opening arguments to hear. Jason Patrick's opening arguments, Mr. Comaz, he represented all 4 defendants very well. He spoke real well about them. He says what they did not want is they did not want another Ruby Ridge and Waco situation. They wanted a peaceful resolution to this. That's why they addressed the government and the local sheriff's department with an address of grievance. It was all about the Hammonds out there. And he brought out in opening arguments that there was no conspiracy here. These guys came to help a neighbor, to help a brother in need, as every American should. And again, we're getting educated. These jurors are getting educated up here. And that's what I found in the first case. I recommend everybody to come and take part in this. Come down here and stand with us. Come into the courtroom and observe. It's an education that you can never get anywhere else. If you want to find out about this case firsthand, it's more important to be here and listen to it firsthand than even from myself. I can't even justify giving you the right words here to tell you how awesome it is to sit in here and listen to everything. I'm learning myself about this case. Every time I come in here, I learn more information that I haven't heard. So that's about all I have for today. We had 2 Native Americans, I think from the Paiute tribe, that were here observing today. They just sat peacefully in the corner. We had a half a dozen FBI agents or so there that were observing also, and we had a courtroom full of supporters. We had some media in there that were taking notes, and we had an overflow room plumb full. And so we really had a great morning. I expect we're having a great afternoon. Listen to the rest of the opening arguments. this case is going to get unraveled. We're guessing about 4 more days of bringing witnesses in, and then we'll go into the final stage of this case. This case is going to wrap up pretty quick. I'm expecting it. We've got more in line of what we know happened last time. I would say next week sometime, the way it looks, we're probably going to hear Ammon Bundy testify, Ryan Payne, Pete Santilli. I'm looking forward to these testimonies. We're also going to have Blaine Cooper in the next couple of days, and then several government witnesses, and it looks like we're going to have, looking for a couple more names here, but we've got quite a few witnesses here. Today also in the courtroom, John Ritzheimer's name was brought up, Joe O'Shaughnessy, we had Corey LeCoux, Lavoy Finicum several times, and the Hammonds brought up several times. And main thing the federal government's saying is that the Bundys distorted the case of the Hammonds, and they even distorted the Constitution, which we know is not true. That was the whole reason we were out there, to try to bring awareness to what the Constitution is being abused. That's why we have 2 trials going on up here, and don't need to forget that. We have 2 trials going on at the same time. We have a bench trial. The judge is trying these guys on 7 charges. We also have a jury trial at the exact same time as the bench trial on the original 5 charges. So this is the kind of thing that we believe is unconstitutional, and this case is important. It's important to happen. We're excited to see it happen, to bring the truth out, to show the world that there are good people out here. There's good jurors that are listening to the truth, and they are tired of this federal government overreach also. I'll try to give you a little view again. That's the jailhouse again behind me, where most of the guys were housed for several months. Right over here behind me, that's the courthouse we're in. We're in floor 9. Here's a few of the supporters. Say hi. Hey, you want to come over here, Neil, and say something? Yeah. This is Neil. I was just telling them, Neil, that that you stood up and you said hi to Judge Brown today.
Yeah, well, I had to have my moment of glory there. Say hi to Anna.
He stood up and said, "I'm back, Miss Brown, I'm back." Where's my stuff at? I was found not guilty. They still haven't gave me my stuff back.
Yeah.
I mean, most everybody's got their stuff back, but Neil here hasn't got it back yet. Well, we're going to get it back for him. I'm sure Judge Brown's going to do the right thing.
As always.
Well, good to have you here, Neil. I'm glad you're here.
You're here, John. You're a amazing man.
So, well, that was Neil Wampler, guys. Not guilty. Well, we'll come back here this afternoon. It'll probably be close to 5 o'clock, I'm thinking, but we'll give you some more updates this evening, and we'll have updates every day this week as the court keeps on unraveling. God bless, and glad to give you this update. Have a good day.